Former German Chancellor Angela Merkel and Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky have received the highest of 3 levels of honor of the European Order of Merit Award.
The EU's new fertilizer plan aims to supply farmers with EU emergency agriculture funds, but only if they switch to more sustainable practices.
Europol has taken down thousands of online posts, accounts, and links tied to Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps.
The European Parliament on Tuesday held the inaugural conferral ceremony for the newly established European Order of Merit in Strasbourg, with former German Chancellor Angela Merkel and Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky receiving the highest of 3 levels of honor. Created to honor individuals who have made significant contributions to European integration and values, the first class included 20 laureates spanning politics, culture, and sports. Merkel was elevated to the highest category of court distinguished member alongside Zelensky and Lech Walesa, a symbolic trio linking democratic resistance, European unity, and political endurance. According to the European Parliament, 13 of the some 20 laureates accepted the honor in person. The award comes as Europe faces renewed uncertainty, Russia's war against Ukraine, pressure to massively increase defense spending, fears triggered by the second disruptive Trump presidency, and intensifying competition with China. Other notable personalities such as the Vatican's top diplomat Pietro Parolin, Moldovan President Maia Sandu, and former European Central Bank President Jean-Claude Trichet received lower levels of the honor.
The European Commission has presented a revised fertilizer plan to avoid another wave of farmer protests across Europe, as the Middle East conflict has sent fertilizer prices soaring. EU officials are worried that high fertilizer prices could reduce crop yields, diminish food production, and deepen resentment toward green policies, at a time when the far-right and populist political movements are gaining more support in rural areas. In the EU's draft fertilizer plan, farmers are set to benefit from emergency EU agriculture funds and advance payments. While there will be no new funds for farmers, the plan proposes short-term actions to improve access to affordable fertilizers, which implies a reshuffling of EU agriculture funds under the Common Agricultural Policy, or CAP. Christopher Hansen, European Commissioner for Agriculture, recently said that €200 million remains in the CAP's crisis reserve and said that they want to at least double this amount to support farmers. This comes under the condition that farmers switch to more sustainable practices, like cutting synthetic fertilizer use and embracing bio-based ones. The Commission's plan also looks at boosting domestic production of fertilizers.
Europol has taken down thousands of online posts, accounts, and links tied to Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, including its main X account. The agency was able to do so as the EU formally designated the IRGC as a terrorist organization in February. This gave law enforcement the legal basis to move against its online infrastructure. Investigators said the IRGC had built a highly structured digital network spanning major social media platforms, streaming services, blog hosting sites, and independent websites. The content, which was distributed in numerous languages, included political messaging intertwined with religious martyrdom narratives. Also, AI-generated videos were widely distributed, including videos praising the IRGC and calling for retaliation in the name of Iran's late Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei. Further details on the methods and tactics uncovered are expected to appear in Europol's upcoming EU terrorism situation and trend report. Iranian state television has been broadcasting weapons training programs with instructions on how to operate and dismantle weapons such as Kalashnikov rifles, machine guns, sniper rifles, and RPGs. The programs included simulated shooting at US President Donald Trump, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, and at the flag of the United Arab Emirates. Meanwhile, in Tehran, an audience gathered around a Revolutionary Guard to learn how to use an AK-47 assault rifle. Men, women, and even children were pictured learning on how to fight against the US and Israel.
فوق‌العاده. شما خودتون شاهد هستید استقبال مردم، استقبال خانوما، آقایون فوق‌العاده است. کاملا هم داوطلبانه و خودجوشه.
انشالله که بتونیم استفاده کنیم در مقابل تهاجم دشمنان. اگه یه روزی نظر بدی به این خاک، به این کشور داشته باشند.
The RIGC also announced a civilian recruitment campaign, setting the minimum enlistment age at just 12 years old. A human rights watchdog warned that the youth-targeted recruitment campaign violates children's rights and constitutes as a war crime when those recruited are under 15.
The European Union's top military general, Sean Clancy, says Ukraine remains the #1 priority for Europe as the ongoing war continues to shape the continent's defense strategy. Joining Euronews on its morning program Europe Today on the EU Military Committee's quarter-century anniversary, Clancy noted that this is time for reflection rather than celebration.
I think flocking into celebrations, I think it's a moment of reflection more than celebration. I think it's, it's a time to pause and reflect how far the European Military Committee, but the European paradigm of security and defence has come as a whole over that period of time. No more so in the last 4 years, and you've mentioned it, Ukraine, which is the #1 priority for all of us and the focus of everyone.
The top EU general stressed that Ukraine, which suffered a massive Russian overnight barrage of over 500 drones and close to 24 missiles, remains crucial to continental security.
The extraordinary resilience of the Ukrainian armed forces, but the Ukrainian people as a whole has transformed Ukraine into a fortress nation now. And Ukraine, from a European point of view, is integral to the future security of Europe. So this isn't just beneficiaries of European charity. This is strategic initiative and imperative for Europe.
Clancy says the EU Military Committee has today trained over 90,000 Ukrainian soldiers, an initiative it plans to continue doing, in his words, unrelentingly.
Kazakhstan launched the cloud seeding project, first of its kind in Central Asia. The first artificial rain fell on the city of Turkestan on the eve of the informal summit of the Organization of Turkic States. Central Asia is among the world's regions most affected by global warming and water shortage, and the aim of the project is to alleviate the effects of drought on the agricultural regions of Kazakhstan.
Last year, 8 months in this Turkestan region, there were 8 months of drought period. That's why we have to bring new technologies in order to come up with additional water resources. The cloud seeding is one of those technologies, and we are basing on UAE experience.
The project is done in cooperation with the National Meteorology Center of the United Arab Emirates.
So it is educational, it is a pilot project, and we will see the result after this project.
Emirates specialists are training Kazakh meteorologists, engineers and pilots to use the technology that they have been using since 1980s.
We fly, we take off to the certain locations that where we started build up the cloud, and we give them the feedback of the cloud behavior, such as the updraft, temperature, the cloud type, and based on communication with the operation, the specialists decide how many flares to utilize for this cloud, and we start applying the flare.
The cloud seeding process is based on dispersing salts on the clouds, which causes moderate local showers. It is environmentally tested and can increase the precipitation in the region by 10 to 20%. It is estimated it will save Kazakhstan around 65 million euros every year, mainly through the increase of crop yield.
The Urban Art Biennale 2026 is really an international show. We have 50 artists from 17 countries, from 3 continents, and it's really showing street art, graffiti, urban art at its best. We have the car-like installations like this behind me, which is sort of monumental fossil mobility, which is covered from a Pompeii-like dust cover, or we have the huge roof of Amparito, the writing on the roof of the Möllerhalle, which is really the biggest work in the show.
I think that it's so dusty and it's so old, but it's beautiful. You know, there's beauty in decay, and I think what I've done makes you kind of just perceive it in a bit of a different way.
It's like a nice place, people walking around, there are bees, there are beautiful flowers, but yeah, we still remember the history, and that's super important.